For decades, Goldie Hawn has been the beating heart of Hollywood. Her laughter, her light, and her love story with Kurt Russell becoming one of the most enduring in entertainment history. But now, that golden glow has been shadowed by heartbreaking news. Reports claim Goldie has been given a tragic diagnosis, one so serious that it left her devoted partner, Kurt Russell, in tears. Fans around the world are asking the same haunting question. How could something like this happen to the woman who seemed untouchable? Goldie Hawn has always been more than just a movie star. She was America's sweetheart in the late 1960s, the wide-eyed beauty who lit up Laugh-In with her bubbly charm. From there, she became a force of nature, an Oscar-winning actress, the queen of romantic comedies, and the kind of celebrity who never seemed to lose her sparkle. While other stars faded or stumbled, Goldie carried a rare kind of light, radiating warmth on screen and off. But perhaps her greatest achievement wasn't her career, it was her love story. For over 4 decades, she and Kurt Russell defied Hollywood's odds, building a family and a partnership that became a model of loyalty in an industry defined by breakups. To the outside world, their love seemed unshakable. Goldie was eternal sunshine, the kind of woman people believed could withstand anything. And yet, behind the golden smile, life was preparing to test her in ways she and Kurt never imagined. Then came the news no one was prepared for. Reports surfaced that Goldie had been facing a tragic diagnosis. One instantly changed the mood inside the Hawn-Russell household. For someone who had always seemed unstoppable, the idea of illness struck fans and family like a thunderbolt. What made it even more heartbreaking was how sudden it felt. Just months earlier, Goldie had been spotted laughing with Kurt at family gatherings, cheering on her children's careers, and living life with the same radiant glow she's always carried. But behind closed doors, the story was very different. The diagnosis meant facing treatments, difficult conversations, and perhaps most painfully, the reality that even Hollywood's brightest lights are not immune to the struggles of the human body. For Kurt Russell, it was devastating. Insiders described him as being reduced to tears when he learned what Goldie was up against. He spent more than 40 years by her side, building a life filled with joy, laughter, and family. And in that moment, he wasn't Kurt Russell, the movie star. He was just a man terrified of losing the love of his life. And yet, this diagnosis didn't just affect Kurt. It rippled through the entire Hawn-Russell family. Goldie has always been open about one thing: life isn't perfect, no matter how glamorous it looks on the outside. Over the years, she's spoken candidly about the struggles she's faced with mental health, the weight of fame, and the challenge of holding on to joy when the world is constantly watching. Behind the glittering gowns and the red carpet smiles, there was always a woman who knew pain, loss, and heartbreak. But this time, the challenge was different. A tragic diagnosis isn't something you can laugh off in an interview or cover up with a dazzling performance. It forces you to confront your own vulnerability. And for someone like Goldie, who spent decades being the one to lift others up, the shift was shattering. Those close to her say she still put on her signature brave face, insisting that the family focus on love and positivity. But even with her radiant optimism, Kurt and the children could see the quiet moments of fear in her eyes. Goldie may have been Hollywood's eternal sunshine, but in private, she was facing storms that few could imagine. For Kurt Russell, the diagnosis hit like a wrecking ball. He and Goldie had built their lives on laughter, adventure, and an unshakable bond that survived everything Hollywood threw their way. But nothing could prepare him for the thought of losing the woman he's loved for more than 40 years. Insiders describe Kurt as being deeply shaken, unable to hold back tears when the news broke. For a man who has played rugged heroes on screen, this was the role he could never rehearse for. The terrified partner, watching the love of his life face something no amount of fame or fortune could protect her from. Friends say Kurt has been by Goldie's side every step of the way, driving her to appointments, holding her hand through treatments, and reminding her of all the reasons she's still the light of his world. But even with his unwavering devotion, there are moments where the weight is too much and his emotions spill over. Because for Kurt, this isn't about celebrity headlines. It's about love, legacy, and the woman he never imagined living without. Goldie and Kurt's love story has always been bigger than just the two of them. It's been the anchor of an entire family. Together, they've raised children who carved out their own paths in Hollywood. Kate and Oliver Hudson, Wyatt Russell, and the blended bonds that connected them all. But when Goldie's diagnosis came to light, the ripple effect shook every branch of that family tree. Kate, who has often spoken about how much her mother's energy shaped her life, was said to be devastated. Oliver, who shares the same quick wit and smile as Goldie, reportedly struggled to process the news. And Wyatt, the youngest, leaned on his father Kurt while trying to remain strong for everyone else. Behind closed doors, the family gathered around Goldie, forming the kind of protective circle that only love can build. They tried to keep the atmosphere positive, sharing stories, laughter, and memories to remind her that even in the darkest moments, she wasn't alone. But as strong as they tried to be, there were nights filled with quiet tears, hushed conversations, and fears they dared not speak out loud. It was clear, Goldie wasn't just fighting for herself. She was fighting for the family that adored her. As news of Goldie's diagnosis spread, an outpouring of support flooded in, from fans, friends, and fellow celebrities alike. Social media timelines became filled with messages of love, prayers, and memories of how her movies had touched lives. Clips from Private Benjamin, Overboard, and The First Wives Club resurfaced, reminding everyone why Goldie Hawn has been more than a star. She's been a source of inspiration for generations. Fans weren't just commenting, they were mobilizing. Hashtags dedicated to Goldie trended, fan videos compiled her most uplifting moments, and online communities offered emotional support not just to her, but to Kurt and the family. It became clear that this wasn't just a personal struggle, it had turned into a cultural moment. Even in the face of heartbreaking news, Goldie's influence and the love surrounding her created a kind of armor, a reminder that even the darkest chapters can be softened by community, care, and unwavering devotion. Even after hearing devastating news, Goldie Hawn's trademark optimism has not wavered. Friends and insiders describe her as facing this diagnosis with the same courage and humor that have defined her entire life. She refuses to let fear dictate her days, choosing instead to focus on love, family, and the small joys that have always brought her strength. She's known for turning hardship into art, whether through her films, her philanthropy, or simply her daily interactions. This time is no different. Reports suggest she's maintaining her routines as best as she can, finding solace in meditation, walks in nature, and time with those she loves most. Every smile she offers is a testament to her resilience, a reminder that even in the face of tragedy, the human spirit can shine. Kurt Russell remains by her side through it all, a constant pillar of support. But Goldie herself is showing that courage isn't just about receiving love. It's about embracing life fully, even when it feels uncertain. Her fight is quiet but powerful, a demonstration that strength doesn't always need fanfare. Sometimes it's in the simple act of choosing to keep moving forward day by day. For fans watching from afar, this chapter reveals the depth of Goldie's humanity. She isn't just a star on the screen. She's a woman navigating fear, hope, and love in real time. And in that truth lies the inspiration that has carried her through decades of Hollywood highs and lows. Goldie Hawn's story has always been one of light, laughter, and love. And even now, facing a tragic diagnosis, that story continues. She has shown the world that resilience isn't about never falling. It's about standing tall when life knocks you down. Her decades-long partnership with Kurt Russell, the unwavering support of their children, and the outpouring of love from fans remind us that her impact reaches far beyond Hollywood stages and movie screens. This chapter is heartbreaking, yes, but it's also a testament to the human spirit. Goldie's courage, humor, and ability to choose joy even in the darkest moments are what make her a legend, not just in film, but in life. Her legacy is not defined by illness, but by decades of inspiring people to embrace love, laughter, and resilience. And perhaps the most moving part of all is this. Even in tears, Kurt Russell's devotion shows the power of love that endures through life's toughest trials. Goldie Hawn's story reminds us that even the brightest stars face storms, but it's how they shine through the storm that leaves the deepest mark. So we're left with a question for everyone watching.